live. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am sitting at a Lowe's at a because that's what I ordered. I know I'm not going to have time to make any food tonight, and decided to come over to McDonald's and have myself a burger. There we go. I didn't know that McDonald's serve Pepsi products, but apparently they do. This is a Dr. Pepper, and you can taste it. So good. And I ordered. Let's see. Oh, it's got to be a small fries. Now I know for a fact they wouldn't have given me any ketchup because they never do. Horrible. I can't drop any of this because I dare not leave any evidence that I had a burger without anybody with me. So I said I was going to stream every night this week, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have got a fillet o fish. Now, I knew it was going to be small, but that's the entire thing. It's like the palm of your hand, maybe less. That's how much burger there is. Well, it's not a burger, it's a fillet o fish. Yeah, there we go. First impressions, I understand why Haven likes it. Yep, let's put that away for a second. Yeah, and well, they were kind enough to give me a couple of, well, serviettes or um, whatever it's called. Yeah. Who's this? Oh, I can't see anything. What is that? Relax Grey. Am I in a place without Fisher fillet? No, I'm in a place where I have Fisher fillet. That's McDonald's, by the way. Thanks for joining. So, I have to be honest, it's not bad, but I definitely understand why my daughter loves it. This is all she eats, and she will eat one on a daily basis if she could. Mm, it's not bad. It's small though. It's like minuscule. It's a palm size. So I mean, it's not perfect, but I'll take it. I was saying earlier, I knew I wasn't going to make it to dinner tonight, and definitely by the time I get home, I'm going to be too tired to make dinner. So best pick something up. Also, with me committing to a stream every night, yeah, there's just no way. I've got to pick my son up, my middle son. I have to pick up by about 7:30 tonight. So I best get busy with this. So I hope everybody's day's gone well today. Just opening up a window to just to get some fresh air in. My goodness, the sun is bright. The sun sets here at about 7:30 in the evenings now. So I still have about 45 minutes of sunlight left, which is nice for a change. During winter, today, March 20th, obviously the first day of spring. So today, I'm hoping if we can get the sun, if the sun sets after 7:30, that would just suit me fine because I'm looking forward to doing some yard work this weekend, which is the most exciting subject in everybody's life. But it's if you own a property, you kind of have to do it. It's one of those things. And there are a couple of things that not neglected, but just left during the winter. Um, so, but yeah, we'll take care of that. I must be honest, the fish fillet or filet o fish, it's really not bad. Now, I can't compliment Haven on it tonight, but I reckon I'm going to cover myself, and this is my hopefully the way I'm going to deal with it. This weekend, I take her out for one of these, and then I compliment her by saying, "Babe, this is brilliant." She's my daughter, by the way, just in case you guys were wondering. I'll say, "Babe, this is fantastic. You have brilliant taste." And then she feels good about it, and life's good. I reckon that'll work. Other than that, the day's been perfectly fine. Interesting day. Life's just been happening uh, today for the most part, and I'm very grateful for it. So they have this tartar sauce on the fish fillet, which is a slightly new experience in my opinion. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I understand why it's there, just not 100% sure how I feel about it yet or this minute. But I don't think the fish taste is strong enough for it to be there. But I guess that's why they add it in so that there is something that, anyways, I don't know. Definitely not bad. So story time. There's a South African that left a comment that asked me whether I am a South African. Now, I'll explain it this way. I'm an American citizen that lives in the US, but I was born in South Africa. And the possibly the easiest way to explain it is 2 years back, I went to South Africa and I stayed with my mom and my brother for 2 weeks. It was fantastic. It was 100% better than um, when I left there 15 years ago. Or I thought it was 100% better. That was my personal opinion. So I um, I lived there most of my life. It was fun while I lived there, but my family's here in the US. Apart from my mom and my brother, so that's all good. I um, I think one of the main things that I can say is even with very high inflation in the US and so on, I still think life is better here in the US than what it is in South Africa. And a couple of things that were apparent, in my opinion, while I was in South Africa for those 2 weeks is how expensive things are to the average man. I'll give you guys an example. We were in the 2 weeks that I was there was one day where there was no electricity for 28 hours, so day and 4 hours. Now, it's probably not bad for people that live there and they're used to it, but in my opinion, I thought it was absolutely atrocious. I hated the idea that I'm so dependent on electricity. And then obviously there are some spectacular ramifications. Some of the things that obviously have downstream effects, which people do not consider. I'll give you guys an example. If you don't have electricity, you don't have electricity to drive the pumps that provide you with fresh water. So that was one of the things. And then also they would have like these weird setups. So you wouldn't have electricity for 2 hours here, and then you would have electricity for like 4 hours, and then 2 hours again. Stuff like that didn't make any sense whatsoever. But people are kind of used to it in South Africa. So even though I'll definitely go and visit South Africa again, that was a negative, in my opinion, negative experience. Um, Also, they don't have AC during the summertime. So I was there for the first 2 weeks of December, actually, the end of November, and then the first 2 weeks in December. And I'll say this, if you don't have AC, you definitely, even if it's only, 85 or something, 87, so it's not that hard. But if you have 87 and you don't have AC, I've grown so accustomed to AC here in the US. So that to me was a slight drawback. But if I had to quantify the entire experience, I would say it was a positive experience. I walked away with a pleasant experience in South Africa. If anybody from South Africa joins the stream, let me know whether they sell fish. Oh, hold on. It's filet o fish in South African McDonald's. I think it's quite nice. In fact, I might start eating these on a more regular basis. We'll see. I'm not sold on it 100% yet, but we'll see. Anybody join from South Africa? No? Okay. Well, anyways, it was a South African question. Um, so yeah, these are pretty good. McDonald's actually does a fairly good thing. I know they're getting knocked because their prices escalated so much. And to be honest, this is a filet o fish combo, which is soda, fries, and this tiny little sandwich. And that was $9 and what was it? $9, $10, somewhere there. And even though the prices I thought was a little bit high, if you had to compare this to what other places offer, it's probably not that bad. I need to maybe do a comparison to Burger King and see what they do. I will say this: the cheese they add to this filet o fish might as well have left it. It's like a half a slice of a half a slice. Mate, I can't read that, but I do appreciate you joining. Happy Wednesday. I hope you have a wonderful day or had a wonderful day. Um, but yeah, so That's this. I know that prices is people are talking about prices coming down with inflation and so on, but you know, whatever the case may be, I still don't think this is. It's it's. I don't want to say it's value for money, but I do think it's not as bad as what people say, in my opinion. Granted, 5, 6 years ago, prior to um, prior to COVID, this would have been a $4, maybe $5 burger. So it's definitely increased in prices a astronomical amount. But if you think about offsetting costs, to inflation, currently this car, not my other car, this car is a Ford Fusion, but it's a hybrid. So I'm getting about 45 miles to the gallon on this. And even in winter times when it gets a lot less miles to the gallon than what I would normally get during the warmer months, it's not that bad. Um, I think it probably drops to about 40, 42. I think, and it does that over a period of time. So, uh, obviously, it's like averages. So it's probably if if it drops to 30, if it drops to 42 during the winter months at the winter peak, that would probably put it at like 40 miles to the gallon. But then the summer months, when I push it back up to 45, it's probably 47 to 50 miles to the gallon. So there's definitely ways to offset some of those costs, some of those expenses that we experienced during these high inflation times. This is not financial advice by any means. This is just saying, things are more expensive now. We know the drivers behind the inflation cycle, and we're hopefully uh, in for a lower inflation within the next couple of months or next year or two. Um, but yeah, that's it. This $10. I mean, I'll pay it, but is it worth it? I'm not gonna. That's not my decision. For me personally, yeah, once a week, I would say, yeah, it's worth it. Is it worth it, like on a daily basis? And that's the thing that McDonald's, where it used to be. It used to be a meal you could have on a daily basis, whereas now it's something you want to have maybe once or twice, uh, 3 times a month. So they're missing out just based off of their prices or their price index that they're driving at the moment. They're missing out on probably 4 or 5 times the revenue they could have generated. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just stating my personal experience and how I would personally deal with it. It is good though. It's really not bad. The question becomes, at $10 per meal, would I drive that kind of behavior in my personal life? Absolutely not. It's just not worth it. $10 for a little filet of fish with fries and a soda, not worth it to me. I would much rather just have this maybe once or twice a month, or in like situations like now where I know I'm not going to cook something when I get home. So best to be prepared. It works. The soda is refreshing though. The fries, I have to say, without the ketchup, the fact that they don't offer to add ketchup, that's a bad mark on McDonald's. Now I know that every single sachet of ketchup costs them money. And their opinion is if you don't, or if you didn't ask for it, you're probably going to throw it away. Not true, McDonald's, not true. Add at least two or three of these little McDonald's, what are they called? These little ketchup sachets. Add a couple in for us, my goodness. Um, that's something that would drive me to support you more often, which is definitely not something. I mean, if you're skimping on, I'll give you guys an example. This little fillet of fish, it has a tiny little cheese, yay size, whereas that's a normal slice, so it's half a cheese that they give you. The fact that they're skimping on the cheese makes you think. It makes you wonder. That's maybe a proper term or better term to use. It makes you wonder what else they're skimping on. And then the fact that they don't include any of the like salt for your fries, or uh, the fact that they don't include any ketchup with it, makes you wonder what the drivers are behind it. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying I'm questioning some of the decision making. And if they're willing to skimp on some of those, what else are they willing to do? Overall, it's probably not that bad. Yeah, fries and a fish fillet. So that's my experience in the current economic drivers, or current economic. e- mm, the current economic, um, I guess, society we live in at the moment. Everything's just going up, and food prices as well. Now, I have to say this: I'm not a huge big fan of the Walmart stuff. Me personally, I would rather buy at uh, Publix, or I would rather go to, excuse me, Harris Teeter. Harris Teeter is really my preference. But what I am seeing is a lot of drivers where people are saying, well, hold on, I'd rather buy something um, from Harris Teeter. Like, whenever the economic times get tougher, I see, like, all of a sudden, I'm seeing a lot more people, a lot more customers shopping. Whereas when inflation was down, I saw a lot more people buying stuff at Walmart. My wife, she's a uh, serious Walmart supporter. I have nothing against them. It's just I have my preferences. I would prefer buying stuff, especially the international aisle in Publix, just magnificent. And then Harris Teeter, they have a kefir selection which is unmatched, absolutely brilliant. So that's my personal preference. But if the missus wants to go to Walmart, I'll support her. I'll help out, push the shopping cart around and so on. Ooh, let's see. Would you rather drink 2 gallons of horse piss, okay, or a mixture of juice of what? Mm, now let me think about that. Yeah, let's not do that either. Um, I would rather, between you and I would rather have a beer, mate. My opinion of a proper drink would be a beer. So if I may skip both of those and say neither, and rather say I would like a Sam Adams or I mean, if you drink Bud Light, you might as well take one of those two options. It's the same thing. But I would rather have a Sam Adams and or how's this? If I'm feeling a little bit Friday nightish, vodka and orange juice, or Saturday evening, nice jazz playing in the background. Not a cigar. I don't smoke cigars anymore. With a nice whiskey. How's that? Would that be acceptable? Hopefully. Mm. I definitely know what I'm going to do this weekend. Take Haven and bring her to McDonald's. We're going to have one of these, definitely. Might even bring the missus, although she won't eat it. But, anyways. So, definitely something I want to say. None of what I'm saying at the moment is in any shape or form financial advice. Please don't take it as that. This is just personal comments for the most part, in my experience. Have to compliment the staff at McDonald's here. They definitely did a good job. I think the fries are, well, it's already cold, so they were not piping hot to start off with. And yeah, that's my comments on McDonald's. I know they get a lot of flack from a lot of people, almost everybody, but I would give them a 5 out of 10. Experience possibly a 7 out of 10. Anyways, so we've been talking about McDonald's now for almost 30 minutes. How much fun could that be? Mm, I don't see any questions or anything, any new questions come up. I'm shocked that there were no Santa Claus comments tonight. I was expecting it. I even left my beard. Um, well, didn't tie it up, so it's all good. Anyways, yep. Normally, I'd be driving. If it wasn't for the fact that the Ford doesn't have anywhere for me to place the phone, so it would hold it while I was driving, I would have gone for a drive. This is such lovely weather. It's definitely you can sense, even though today's day one of spring, you can sense that there's a shift. Well, you could have sensed that a little bit for the last week or so, but you can sense there's a shift in the climate. It's definitely a little. There's a lot of mercy. How's that? there's a lot of mercy in the air. You don't feel like you're freezing all the time. Even though we had 0 snow this entire year, I can live with it because this weather was fantastic. We did not have a particularly cold winter. Last year wasn't particularly, in fact, now I'm thinking about it, we haven't had snow since COVID hit. What was that, 2020? Huh. So that means it's been 4 years since we've had snow, which is terrible now I'm thinking about it. Now I understand why Haven's so upset. So my daughter, her birthday, it always snows. And we haven't had since 2019. That was the last year we had snow. That's awful. Hey, hi there. Thanks for joining, by the way. So yeah, we're not talking. Hey, we're not talking climate or anything major. It's just reminiscing. Um, well, just in general stuff. So yeah, we haven't had any snow. We've had mild winters, just apple juice, olive oil, easy. I see. I don't know. I've never tried it, mate. I tell you, me personally, give me a whiskey, give me a beer. We can sit down and have a conversation. Life's good. In fact, that's normally what I do on a Sunday when I live stream. But last Sunday, none of that. I was driving in my little Saturn. I own a little Saturn. Took it for a drive. It was a lot of fun. Took it through the car wash because it was filthy. Oh, here's the other thing. There's a ton of pollen on this car. So when I go home tonight, before I stop at home, the car has to go through a car wash. It is virtually yellow, and it's a black car. It's virtually yellow with all the pollen. So, I mean, spring is tangible at the moment. Somebody gave a comment that's being held for review. Thank you for whoever made that comment. I'm sure it's not malicious in any way. I'm not going to bother looking at it now if you guys don't mind. It's all good. But yeah, if we're talking about so apple juice and olive oil, I can't think that's good for you, mate. That's the kind of stuff. Wouldn't that give you like a hernia or something? Some pollen would be nice. Japan didn't have much right now. Yeah, yeah. See, the thing is, I don't know what the temperatures are like. It's better than. I'm pretty sure it is, mate. I'm gonna trust you entirely. So the thing about Japan, I'm not sure what the temperature is like at the moment, and also the amount of rain you guys receive. If there's um if there's a ton of good on you, mate. No, it's the temperature for the pollen, mate. So the temperature have to be what X, like 65 or 64 before the pollen starts spreading. And if you have a lot of rain, then it's normally a bit of a disaster, isn't it? No. No, but your comment is just driving the expectations so much higher. Um, so those fries are a little bit cold. I think they're going to end up in the trash can. There's no ways I'm finishing that. Also, the last one I had, that was completely unsalted and unworthy of my attention. So, having said that, and the fact that we don't have any ketchup to go with it, I shall disregard it. And so, yeah, fortunately, the car's getting washed tonight. And once the car's washed, it'll look immaculate again. But right now, after work, I parked it obviously under a tree, but uh, just the amount of pollen is staggering on this car. Ryan, any spectacular comments you want to share, mate? Any smart ones? No, Mr. J. Oh, 70, lovely. No rain. There you go. Oh, that's just perfect. Yeah, I reckon 70, 72, maybe 75. That's your perfect state. If I could live in a climate where it was just between 72 and, well, possibly, let's say between 68 and 75, that would just be perfect in my opinion. I uh, I don't think there's anything better than that, to be honest. I reckon that would be touching perfection, but that's my personal opinion. Almost 40 minutes in this stream, and all I've done was had some fries, had a fish fillet or filet o fish at McDonald's, and for sure. Yeah, so we normally go to, I don't know whether you're familiar with the US East Coast. We normally go, there are a couple of places that we like to go. Last year we had a couple of trips down to Myrtle Beach. I think three or four last year, and there's a spot in in Florida I like to frequently visit. It's a place called Amelia Island, which is near Fernandina Beach, or Fernandina. Um, so Jacksonville, sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Um, it's close to Jacksonville, which is pretty nice, I'd say. Uh, this year, I will see what's doable, what's manageable. But yeah, at the beach, mate, that's perfect. Last year, we had a couple of, I'll call them monsoons because they were these storms that popped out of nowhere, and it was kind of hilarious. So people would be laying on the beach, sleeping, and so on. All of a sudden, it's without quoting Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, thunderbolts and lightning, very very frightening. But just an absolute storm that came through, and you would just see. Um, I called them the bikinis that went flying. Like people would just scatter on the beach, and it was funny nonetheless. I unfortunately, not that I would want to record anything that I shouldn't, but it was extremely funny the speed people could move at. But yeah, that's just my sense of humor. Oh, you know the East Coast very well. Oh, there you go. There you go. Got it. Yeah, I'm currently in North Carolina, and I will tell you this. Oh, got it. I'll tell you this. North Carolina is just a lovely state. I absolutely love and adore it here. And like I said, we frequently go on vacation, Myrtle Beach. It's just lovely. Uh, the peak season, Myrtle Beach, it's a little bit too touristy for me, but the missus and my daughter both love it. But yeah, Florida, it has a special place. Uh, Miami was the first place the missus and I went to go on vacation. And then we traveled all the way up to, with a mate of mine, him and his wife, we traveled all the way up to Columbus, Ohio, one December, and the temperature differences was, shall we say, very interesting. Well, it was about, well, you can't see it. It was a huge gap. I think December in Miami was possibly, hey, hello, was possibly, oh, definitely like 70s, 80s. So it was nice. And then we went to Columbus, Ohio, and all the way up to uh, what's it called? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We ended up there. Anyways, long story short, it was snowy, it was cold, so it was in the 20s, teens, somewhere there. So the temperature gap was just spectacular, and it was like a day or two driving, I think it was. So yeah, Miss North Carolina, yeah, mate. Uh, Especially this time of year, as soon as the leaves start popping out, it's just spectacular. Pollen's awful, but spectacular. Myrtle Beach, a couple, yeah. Wilmington. Now that's an interesting little town, isn't it? I haven't been there in a bit. Need to take the time, or make the time to actually go there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good memories, mate. Good memories. Yeah. Anyways, oh no. Well, I hope you enjoy your summer in Japan, mate. Yeah. By all means, you know, drop me a comment whenever you can. I'd love to hear what your experience was or experience is, and yeah, that would be fantastic. But anyways, I think without waffling for too long, it's been almost 45 minutes just talking in general stuff. I really appreciate the comments, Mr. J. Your comments were absolutely spectacular. Thank you very much for it. Um, Mate, you're joining as I'm saying goodbye, but I do thank you for joining. I'll say adios and have a lovely Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining. Cheers.